It is not by chance that some 300 experts from 5 continents met here in Hamburg, in the beautiful medieval town next to Donauaue National Park, to discuss the future of protected areas in Europe. This lovely place sits by the bank of the Danube River and just across the Donauaue National Park, which is one of the best examples of effectively managed protected areas. Between 2 major capitals in Europe, Vienna and Bratislava, it serves a much wider community. It helps us protect biodiversity of this astonishing nature around us, but it also provides a multitude of benefits and services to the communities around the national park.
I'm so delighted to be here in Hamburg and here in this beautiful spot that has been restored and shows what can be done and how nature can be brought back. If we don't do this, nature will send us an invoice.
In Sydney, I think for the very first time, the protected area community started to talk earnestly with people involved in so many other sectors: health, disaster risk reduction, food security, climate change.
It was basically the biggest get-together of protected area experts, practitioners, people from other sectors, and those who are interested in protected areas to set the stage and set the pace for protected areas for the next decade. It's a once in 10 years event and the biggest of its kind.
We wanted to avoid in Sydney the idea that we could set yet another environmental agenda, another long list of things to do. Instead of saying, we know what it is we have to do, we've got this evidence. What we have to do now is turn that into the how, the when, and how much, really, to accelerate some progress on this.
Even so, quite a lot of experts from Europe managed to participate in the World Parks Congress. There are much more of those who were not able to get there, and that was one of the main reasons for bringing it down to scaling it to a regional level.
As you may remember that we all made a promise in Sydney, and it was extraordinary to see 6,000 people under one tent with one firm vision, with one firm dedication, and with one firm promise on how to ensure enhanced conservation through protected areas.
We share many similarities, and we're very excited. The organisers of the Health and Wellbeing Stream in Sydney are so pleased to be here, to be able to share what we learned and to see it being adopted and new actions coming up that align with those recommendations, but this time for Europe. So I encourage other countries to have, or regions to have, other little Sydneys.
Majority of some 300 participants who met here next to Donauaue National Park come from Europe, but we also have people from Latin America, from North America, we have people from Asia, and we have people from Australia. We have those champions of the World Parks Congress coming here to Hamburg and sharing that message and sharing the promise of Sydney.
The big questions are, how much nature do we need to protect if we're going to keep nature along with us on this small planet? And the conclusion from our deliberations in Sydney were, we're not doing well enough. We have a significant challenge with protecting enough nature.
Today, what we do or what we will not do will really matter. It is upon us now to really act on conservation.
And that's why we are here in Hamburg, to see what of the promise of Sydney we can implement here in Europe and by doing so reaching those targets that we set for a wider society.
We actually think nature, it's not just a solution, it's an inspiration that actually we can do something with nature about society's challenges.
We know that protected areas work when they're well managed, when they're well designed, and we put enough investment in. That's very clear from the science now. And where we don't put enough investment in, they're not working.
So it is time now to step up, and conservation really matters. Biodiversity is our safety deposit box, is our way of knowing that the future generations are safe because the ecosystems are safe.